Alright guys, in this video I'm going to be breaking down the single back tight slots formation. Now this formation is, in my opinion, the best offensive formation in the game, and that is in large part due to the play PA Panther post. The out route that is ran by the outside guy, it is beyond glitchy with the play action. It pretty much is impossible to stop. So by when you start coming out and you start quick hiking it to both sides of the field, you're really putting pressure on your opponent. And as I'll show you, there's very little your opponent can actually do to stop that. The other plays that we use are going to be drag cross-ups, which is a cover 3 bomb glitch, for those of you that are aware of what I'm talking about. If not, I'll be breaking that down. The play halfback wheel, fantastic play that beats man and zone. And then I will also utilize motions out of the play bench and the play deep post. The running back run, like the run plays, you could go with either the halfback dive or the cutback. I personally like the cutback. I'll come out on that just to get this thing started. So cutback, when I'm running the cutback, you can technically run it to either side of the field. There's no magic or anything that is involved. If your opponent stacks the box, you are able to typically get to the outside with this run. Not as good as a counter or strong power, but it's a solid run. I also like to flip the play, like redirect the running play to the side of the tight end. I feel that I tend to get better blocking against a lot of sets with doing that, but it's up to you. You can run it either way. That's, like I said, that's the run and play. You know, nothing spectacular. The dive, the cutback, whichever you choose. The plays, though, the passing plays, where you're going to make your money, PA Panther post. Now, on defense right now, I'm in just a stock cover 3. So literally when running this play, there is 2 setups. You can either curl route the slot receiver on the same side of the out route, in this case Y, and then you're going to hike the ball, cancel the play action, and throw a bullet to the out route. Literally that out route is going to beat everything. So before we get into the setups again, go through it. 2-man under, just hike, he makes his break, throw the pass to the outside. We'll go ahead, audible to it again. We play on Vontae Davis, who's like a 96 overall corner. So cancel play action, throw it to the outside, pick up 9 yards. Very good, very safe play, and that's what makes this offense so spectacular. Is you have safe plays that attack the outside of the field, which forces your opponent to overplay not one outside but both. As we get into the setup, so once I said the curl route, if your opponent does take away the out route somehow, if they guess right and they're manually playing that side, if they have their safeties in flat zones or whatever, if they're in man coverage, a simple curl route with a bullet pass lead down is going to dominate any man coverage, whether it be 2-man under, anything like that. So we'll go ahead and run it again against zone. So for instance, here's a cover 3 sky. Literally, you just make the read. They can't guard everything. They did actually play the curl route right there. I'll go to the replay, and this is against a stock cover 3. So you see I was trying to hit that curl route. I had the out route open on the left. The linebacker did sit underneath that curl, though, so my options were to either hit the post coming over right here. I could either hit that guy, or I could check down to the running back. You can also roll out and, glitch out the zones and whatnot if you have a mobile, but this scheme does not require a mobile quarterback. So we'll go ahead and run it again. Panther post, I'm just going to curl the guy. We'll go to a cover 2 sink. So boom, as you see, out route wide open. And I want to show you the coverage real quick. So you saw how wide open that got. this is the coverage. Like, this shouldn't get open, but the way Madden 15 is, it's just dumb, and that route gets open versus literally everything in the game. The only thing you kind of have to worry about is sometimes if they are in like a two-man under and they base align, sometimes if you have a bad route running receiver, um, they'll actually get boxed, but it's still very rare. Like, as you see, that's against a 96 overall corner. I mean, it's easy pickings. So the other setup that I like to use is if my opponent is in a zone defense, um, I like to flat route the running back, and it kind of creates that little makeshift screen. And as you see here, you just pick it up, and I have Eddie Lacy in the game right now. I'm not exactly a fast guy, but go ahead, do this again. Audible to cover 3 sky. Pretty much you're going to want to roll out just a second, hike, he'll pick up his block, and now you have a screen to the right-hand side as you just saw. So those are my main two use when running PA Panther post. If they are in any sort of zone, for instance, a cover 3, I mean any zone, if they do not pass commit, you can hike and throw that little fade route pretty much right away. That's a read if you see your opponent not pass committing. So we'll go ahead, we'll run it again. We'll go to cover 2 sync right here. Pretty much you're just going to hike, throw it to the outside, and you can pick up huge gains as soon as you cancel that play action. So that's the main play, and you can keep in mind you can run this to both sides of the field. It does not matter, as you saw right there. I mean, it's very easy to dot with this offense. It's kind of dink and dunk in a way, but it also has big playability. So the PA Panther post is more of a dink and dunk style of offense, I would say. But to play drag cross ups and halfback wheel and everything, we're going to be getting out of the pocket and pretty much just dotting. So the play halfback wheel is up next, and I run this a lot. And the setup is to simply hitch route the outside receiver that is opposite of the corner route. So you see you have the corner route going to the left right here. You will then want to hitch route the receiver that is on the far right. When running this, let's see, what am I in defensively? So the standard cover 3, you'll see that you can pass lead that hitch route down versus any zone. It does not matter what zone your opponent is in. You just pass lead down, and it is golden. So that was a cover 3. This is going to be a cover 2 sync right here. So pretty much you'll see, well, they completely left the running back wide open on that for whatever reason. Go ahead and try that again. So cover 2 sync, I'm going to base align, halfback wheel, hitch route. So you see that even though they're kind of close, they're not going to jump that route as long as you pass lead the ball down. So there's a window to throw the ball at, and you will always typically get this animation where you just catch the ball low, turn up field, pick up 10 plus yards. It's similar to the smoke screen in a way. Off coverage man, you can still throw that as well. So pretty much hike, bullet pass lead down, and you're good to go. The only time you don't want to use that read as pretty much a go-to is if you see a two-man under. Although you can still do it occasionally against a two-man under, a good corner like Vontae Davis, as you see, will be right on the guy. If they have bad corners, if they're playing with the Niners or somebody like that, it doesn't matter what they do. I mean, it truly doesn't. Now, if they are base aligned and they're in a two-man under, you can still typically throw this. So pretty much hike, bullet pass lead down. You can pretty much the only time you can't is if they're in a press coverage look, you know it's a two-man under, and they're directly above the receiver. So that's pretty much it. That is a go-to for me. Another thing that I like to use with this, the secondary reads are going to be the corner route that is over here as the crossing route as well. So pretty much roll out, you got man coverage, corner routes should always be open, especially if they have route running. Let's see, you'll go to a cover 3 look. So against a cover 3, you pretty much just pick and choose who you want. The corner route will get open if you roll out, and the crossing route should get open as well. Hitch route should get open, and if there's no flat zone, the wheel route does get open. I keep the wheel route on this play because a lot of times people will either not have a flat zone, which allows me to get a nice chunk of yards, or they will have a flat zone and it will force their zone defenders off of my hitch route over here. So go ahead, we'll sit there. Pretty much, you just pick and choose who you want to throw to. The crossing route gets open. He does sometimes get bumped, like you just saw, but you have to manually guard it as well. So go ahead and come out in a cover 2 sink. Pretty much, you can roll out, hit the corner route if you want. Very, very nice play. And as I mentioned, you can always take this play and run it to both sides of the field. So we'll come out 2-man under again. You got the corner route. Come out in cover 3 sky. You got the little baby curl, the hitch route. And so go to a cover 2 look right here. So pretty much you can roll out, hit. You can dumb the defense out by getting out of the pocket a little bit. They'll bite down on the other routes. The only route I don't really ever throw is the post route. I feel that this post route is very hard to fit into zones. The only time I will sometimes send it is if I see my opponent in a cover 2 shell and there's defenders just leave it wide open. If it's going to be a tight throw, I do not throw this. You can also leave this guy on his in route, which gives you another little dot across the middle. However, I really only use that if I see 2-man under, and I'm hell-bent on running this play. So this is it versus 2-man under. As you'll see, I got people open. I got screamed at right there, but go to the replay really quick. You see that crossing route's open, corner route's open. I'm waiting. The in route gets open right here for me to hit that. Pretty much just creates a levels concept. Your opponent can't be playing the outside, the shallow cross, as well as a 10-yard dig. So forces your opponent a lot. You will notice that man coverage does tend to get open a lot if they don't have a safety deep. Something to look for, but as I mentioned, it is not a primary read to say the least. And then the last play that I'm going to break down is, well, not the last play, the last audible that I use is drag cross-ups. So as you can see, my audibles are PA Panthers post, halfback wheel, drag cross-ups, and the cutback. Drag cross-ups is very simple. I like to streak the outside left receiver, and I like to max protect. This creates this little concept right here where you have a streak, a drag, it's got the 2 wheels. It's got essentially the 4 verts concept that Pete has broken down in his Pittsburgh book, as well as the play verticals at a bunch tight end, all that type of stuff. With this, I like to motion this guy out slightly. All that does is it forces your opponent to look that direction. If they are in some sort of a zone, for instance, a cover 2 sink right here, you can pretty much hike, throw that route, and he'll cut up the field as you just saw. And if you have a good tight end there, a fast tight end, you can pick up huge gains with this because you see he catches it and he kind of gets a little turbo straight up the field. He'll never just catch it and go out of bounds. It works kind of similar to the halfback wheel route, where it dumbs out the defenders. But I like it a lot. It's a fantastic little quick pass to hit your opponent with. It also discourages them from blitzing you. So that's another quick pass versus zone. It does attack the sidelines. Um, so we'll go ahead and get into it again. So show it. That was against a cover 2 sink. This will be against a cover 3. So against a cover 3, the guy doesn't come out, or he does come out, and then you hit your secondary read. So you hit the drag route coming across the middle, and you'll see that all the defenders drop back into their zones. They will leave a wide open alley for this drag route. You see, there's a good, 7-8 yards between where the zones are and where that drag route is. So it's a fantastic drag route to hit. You pick up typically 5-6 plus yards pretty much at will versus any zone. Go ahead, we'll run that against a cover 2 sink type look so you guys can see. So motion them out. You see that, nobody's going to drop down and play that. It's pretty much what I'm getting to. So another quick little dink and dunk style that's phenomenal. So on top of that, you can actually do that same concept to the opposite side of the field as well. So say you want to streak the outside right receiver, motion the guy on the left. Everybody's going to drop back. Now you're creating the same 4 verts concept against zone, just on the right-hand side of the field. So it really forces your opponent to play shallow, which is great. If your opponent's playing shallow, that's when we can go up top. So standard cover 3, go audible to a cover 3 look. I'm actually call a timeout and move this ball backwards so I can show you guys the bomb trick. So drag cross ups, cover 3 sky. I'm trying to figure out how to move the ball back. Let's see. Go ahead and move the. It's acting a fool. So we're going to move the ball back so I can actually show you how you can bomb a cover 3. So I'll just put it right here on the 30, I guess. And the play drag cross ups, as I mentioned, you're going to do the same setup. You're going to streak the outside left receiver. Let's see, audible to a cover 3. And if you want to, you can streak both, or you can leave it on the drag. It doesn't really matter. As long as you have the wheel and the streak combo on the left, you will be able to typically bomb cover 3. So pretty much you will see the safety. If the safety, for whatever reason, bites down, let's see if I can find a decent cover 3. So, all right. So say they're in a cover 3, they're pressing, they're trying to disguise their look, whatever the case may be. Streak on the left, and you'll see that you can bomb the guy if you put the 2 streaks. Every single time you'll be able to bomb cover 3 if you have the 2 streaks on the field. If for whatever reason your opponent is only, or if you only want to put the streak on the left, you have to read the safety. The safety will typically dumb out, although it's not a surefire thing. Especially in practice mode. In game, you're able to bomb him pretty frequently. Try this again. So standard cover 3 will give you some look similar to this. And come out. You'll see that the safety typically will dumb out. He didn't do it exactly right there. It's practice mode actually being decent. Um, but you can bomb a cover 3 uh, by simply just having the one streak. Sometimes you may need both. When I do put both, I tend to drag route the tight end, and this gives you the 4 verts concept again. Um, and it's pretty much it. It's didn't get a really good clip of how it actually bombs, but play around with it in practice mode in game. You'll see that you can actually go up top on a cover 3 very easy. Wanted to show that right there. Wheel routes. The wheel routes will also tend to beat the man coverage, although I do not, look for those as my primary read. Other thing that I like to use is I like to utilize motions. You can use the motions in the play drag crossups, or I like to utilize the play deep post and bench. Deep post is first. Versus a 2-man under, this is one of my main plays I like to use. I will slant the slot receiver, in this case Y, and then I'll motion him out a little bit and hike the ball. What that does is that creates pretty much a high-low. It creates, the slant coming across the middle that I just hit, and it'll also open up that X route in just a second. So as you see, the X route creates the high-low, kind of similar to the play PA post at a shotgun bunch. And then, of course, you have the drag route, which is going to beat man. You have the corner route, which will also beat man. Pretty much, this is the play I like to go to kill 2-man under. If they are in zone, works just as well. You just hike the ball. It's the same exact concept. You just hit whichever read you want. That was a cover 2 sink. I should have actually hit the deep post or the running back, and I didn't because it was a bad play by me. So we'll go ahead and run it again. Cover 2 sink. I can hike throw to the running back, pick up a few yards. The post was open as well, I believe. So, as you see, well, no, now the Y route was the one I should have hit. Getting screamed at. But anyway, let's move on to the other stuff. You'll see that with a high-low read, no matter how the defense plays, they can't guard everything. So in this case, I have the running back open, I have the drag route open, the slant is going to come open as you see here, and you can't manually guard everything. So pretty much just pick and choose which guy you want to throw to, or be like me and just eat the sack for no real reason. We'll come out in, this is, let's see, this is an all-out blitz, and you'll see that it works just the same. The slant's going to beat his guy, as well as pretty much everything else. So if they're in an all-out man blitz, the motion slant is pretty much always going to be there, as you see. They can't really defend it as far as the computer goes. So use that as your first read. I would say that, the drag route, the running back as well. And another thing that I like to use on a rare occasion when running this play is if I'm hell-bent on picking up a few yards, I will put this outside guy over here on a fade, and I'll motion him out. You see how they don't really align correct at first? When they motion out, they tend to not align correctly, which will allow you to bomb them sometimes, but even when it doesn't, it allows you to hit that running back for a quick little pass, pick up 4 or 5 yards. The zones will drop back with the little glitchy out and in. It's an angle route by X, as well as the fade that you're motioning out. So you create another high-low read there. Then, if they're overplaying that side, if they guess correctly, you still have the corner route to the opposite side as well as the drag route. So that's that play. And like I said, you can use this to both sides of the field. Doesn't really matter. Here's it to the right. See, the slant's going to always be open. That's not a good tight end. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's going to be a wide open pass versus man coverage. Um, and as you see, you got the angle route deeper that's going to beat man. Pretty dominant play. I like it. I don't like it more than cross ups, halfback wheel, or panther post. But it is something nice to mix in if your opponent is hellbent on being in 2-man under. So the final play that I use out of this set is the play bench. Bench is fantastic because it allows you to motion out these corner routes, and it allows you to actually hike throw them for decent gains. As I mentioned earlier, they don't align correctly at first, so you have the quick little, I guess it's the mesh concept. You see that you can do it to both sides. You just move them out, hike the ball. They can't press. Throw it to the outside, and you're golden. Um, Works versus man, works versus zones. So, for instance, we'll go to a cover 3 sky here. If your opponent's in a cover 3 sky, whatever side I'm doing it to, I like to put that guy on a fade route. So, as you saw right there, go to a cover 3 sky and base align. So if I want to do it to the left, I will typically fade the left receiver, motion dude out, and then I'll do it that way. For whatever reason, practice mode's playing it. Mess around with it in game, you'll see that they don't really play it all that well. And you can also just hike and do it like that, where they kind of delay. That is a fantastic little setup as well, especially versus zone, because it is going to create that little delay. So you got pretty much hike, throw. You just have to worry about the flat routes. So pretty much it. Like I said, it's a fantastic little scheme. The PA Panthers post is the play that makes it all run smoothly. And then you have the drag cross subs with the motion, the wheel with the hitch, so forth. So that is my main formation that I use right now. I've played and went up and down the field versus pretty much everybody I've played, regardless of the competition, whether it be money games, league games, connected franchises. Everything is all fine and dandy. You don't need a mobile, as I mentioned. You can roll out to pull out the zones, but you don't have to. So that is the tight slot scheme. And next up, we're going to break down the gun tight offset tight end.